Om Sushumna
Om.
Sharma garu. Sharma garu, when we attended the Guru Purnima Mahotsavam at Palani in 2008, I remember you had a wonderful experience. Of course, you did share with us then, but it was too long. So can you please share it with me today?
Sure, madam. Sure.
Thank you, sir. Please.
I got introduced to Sushumna Kriya Yoga in the year 2007. With the benevolence of Mataji, I had her permission to attend Guru Purnima and Guru Puja celebrations held at Palani in 2008. On Guru Purnima day, Guru Puja was held in the evening. I too attended the venue about half an hour before. Maybe because of my age, I was not involved in all the activity that was going on there. So I had to sit tight. A few chairs were arranged there, but I was not sure of sitting in them because those might be needed for somebody else, or even if I sit in them, my seat position may be higher than that of Mataji during Guru Puja. So I felt it apt to sit on the floor. Here I have to explain one thing about me. I can't sit still in Padmasana beyond 20 minutes. If I continue, cramps and leg pains develop.
Oh.
If I continue further, I will have to stretch my legs and apply some mardana, some massage for some time. Okay, that day, Guru Puja and thereafter Guru Vandanam and Prasada Vitarana, it has taken about an hour's time. Thereafter, Mataji, she gave a message to all the people present over there. She told that all the Gurus are present here in their invisible form. They are very eager and enthusiastic to bless us all. The blessings we derive from them will be in accordance with the devotion, sincerity, and submission we show towards them. Each meditator is protected by 4 Gurus, one on each of the 4 sides. So please meditate sincerely with bhava and derive their blessings. After the meditation, if anybody gets any good experience during meditation, it may be shared with the rest of the people present over here. Then we commenced meditation. Very soon I started developing cramps and leg pains because I have been sitting in Padmasana for a considerable time up to then. So I could not control my urge to straighten my legs. But some dhyani was sitting before me. If I straighten my leg, my feet may touch them. So I had to cover my feet with my palms. Thus, I could neither sit still nor maintain mudra during my meditation. But intermittently, I was doing meditation. I was getting jerks about my vertebra.
Oh.
And once I fell into an experience, a vision. In that vision, I was standing on top of a hill. That hill was more or less plain. It was almost rectangular in shape, slightly bent towards the northeast. My position was towards the southeast corner. There was only one big tree on top. That was a Ravi tree, which is Aswatha Vriksham. It's to the southwest of the place. All the rest were only beautiful shrubs. Then it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun was shining so bright and clear, as if, the atmosphere was cleared by a beautiful rain a few hours ago. There was a mandara shrub by my side. I looked at its leaves. Its veins and subveins, all of them were visible to me quite clearly. I was wondering within myself, because even with spectacles, I can't see them in really so clearly. I was wondering, in the meanwhile, I heard a thud from the center of the place. Immediately, I looked up in that direction. I saw Lord Shiva there. He was in the age group of 14-15 years. His complexion was crystal-like. And he was tucking his hair in the middle of his head, around
like
his...
tied up like a knot.
Yeah, he knotted it. All around his hair and biceps and wrists, he was wearing Rudraksha beads. All of a sudden, the lighting in the area, it has changed. It was soft and very pleasant to the eyes. The Lord might have controlled his glow so as to enable me to have his darshan properly. He was wearing tiger skin around his waist. It was covering his left shoulder also. It was covering him only up to his knees. A serpent was around his neck, and that was protruding its head beyond his shoulder, right shoulder.
Okay.
That's why it was visible to me. And his limbs were so symmetric, because he is a cosmic dancer. It can't be otherwise. His waist was thin, chest was broad, hands and all the limbs were so inexplicably beautiful. I was looking at him without batting my eyelid. He started walking in the northeastern direction.
Okay.
With every stride, the serpent's head was heaving up and down. It was looking in all directions like a child sitting near the window in a moving train.
Okay. Nice.
So the Lord might have paced about 30 steps. Thereafter the vision broke. I regained worldly conscious. Again my leg pains and cramps, straightening and bending legs.
Okay.
This was with me. So somehow I too could finish meditation along with the rest of the team members. Some of the team members shared their experiences that occurred during the dhyanam. Among the people, only 2 or 3 may be older to me by age. All the rest were only younger to me. But all of them, without any exception, were super seniors to me in meditation and sadhana.
Okay.
So I felt a bit delicate to put forth my vision before them. In the corner of my mind, I might be doing a mistake by not abiding by
Guru
Mataji's directions. And that thought was making me uneasy. Yet my shy took over that, and I did not share it then. The next 2 days, Mataji took us all around Madurai, Tiruparankundram, Palarmudicholai, and Kodaikanal also.
Yes.
She asked us to meditate near the Samadhis of Siddhas.
Yes. Those are all our Siddha Samadhis.
Siddha Samadhis.
Yes.
Madurai. Madurai, that is Sundareswara temple.
Yes.
And then Tiruparankundram.
Maschendra.
Might be.
Maschendra Muni.
On top of the...
Yeah, yes. We also went to a place, I remember, Algar
Koil.
Koil. That was Ramdevar's.
Near the Alagar Koil, there is a Subramanya temple.
Yes, yes.
That is Palarmudicholai.
Okay.
There we have meditated. Thereafter, we had been to this Kodaikanal.
Yeah.
And she has conducted meditation there also.
So in Kodaikanal, was that the temple which our Parma Guru Bhogna Sridhar has also, I've heard that he has also installed one more Subramanya Swami idol at Kodaikanal. Was it the same place?
I am not sure, but there is another Subramanya temple at Marudamalai. Marudamalai, that is the starting place of the Ooty Hills.
Okay.
There also Pambatti Siddhar. Pambatti Siddhar used to.
Siddha Samadhi.
Siddha is Samadhi was there. The next day, all of us had to leave. And the trouble at the back of my mind was there. When I went to Mataji to take leave of her, I blurted out, "Madam, I committed a mistake by not sharing my experience with the rest as per your directions. I was too shy to do it. Pardon me. This is my experience." I explained to her. Instead of either getting angry or reprimanding him, that benevolent Mataji, she felt very happy for me. And she exhorted me to share the experience with the rest of the team members in the return journey. Okay, we returned back. Thereafter, one question was puzzling me. I never visualized Shiva in the age group of 14-15 years boy. How could it be that he gave darshan as a teenager? And this was just troubling me. After about 5 years, I had the occasion to put forth my doubt before Mataji.
Oh.
Then she answered me. In darshan, Lord Dakshinamurti appeared before you.
Oh.
He is Adi Guru.
Yes.
That is why he gave you darshan. You are blessed, she told me. And that made me speechless. I was humbled by the feeling of the benevolence, knowing the benevolence of Gurus. Thereafter again, after a couple of years, I paid another visit to Palani. I examined the surroundings, and then another idea struck to me. Was the Palani hilltop the same one that I looked in my vision? On correlation, I thought that in my vision I was looking at the place where the steps onto the hill ended. The place where Lord Dakshinamurti landed. It might be the spot where Lord Subramania's the idol was installed.
Yeah.
Lord Dakshinamurti, the place up to which he walked, might be the place where Bhoganatha Siddhar's Jiva Samadhi is situated.
Okay.
In my next meeting with Mataji, I put forth my doubts before her. Smiling at me, she nodded in affirmative.
So nice.
And after getting this experience, one thing struck to me. It is not the sadhana we put in so important as much as the devotion, sincerity, and self-surrender and submission to Gurus. That benefits us more, but not just the sadhana. We have to be humble, respectful, and sincere towards Gurus. This got confirmed by my own experience because I know the quantum of sadhana I put in. I never believed that the sadhana I put in up to that time deserves such a great experience. But it's only the benevolence of Gurus.
Amazing.
And I felt it important to mention about my leg cramps and pains because my vision was neither a dream nor a hallucination.
It was a reality.
It was very real. Maybe to assure me about that, reassure me about that, Gurus might have.
Yeah, the physical experience of the pains, the tingling sensations of your legs, which you are experiencing physically, and spiritually, like in your the experience, the vision of Lord Dakshinamurti, both simultaneously, as you said. Yes, it's right.
I can't sleep or dream with those pains.
Exactly.
Let alone having any hallucination.
But really amazing, Sharma Garu. You really had a wonderful experience because you had the opportunity to see every minute detail of Dakshinamurti. Otherwise, you would not have explained to us in such detail.
Yes.
It's really amazing because having a darshan is different. Having darshan with that every minute detail to be visualized in detail is amazing. Really, we are all blessed. The Sushumna Kriyaga sadhakas are the most blessed, sir.
I am among them.
Yes, definitely. Om Sushum.
Om Sushum.